One of the standard phrases we frequently use in any conversation is we say we're looking forward to something. Looking forward to the holidays, looking forward to getting better if we're feeling ill, looking forward to the end of the school year, for example, looking forward to seeing our children pass their exams and grow up. There are so many things to which we look forward in our lives, and it's an expression we very frequently use. Now, we're all fully aware that the only real time is the present. The past has gone by beyond regret. The future is still very uncertain. And so the challenge to us is to how best we can live the present. And the present for us who are Christians is the season of Advent. Now, Advent itself is about looking forward. It's about anticipating in some spiritual way the return of the Lord. It's about getting ourselves ready for that fateful meeting with him, about which we heard a little in the Gospel last Sunday, when the Son of Man returns again as judge to separate the sheep from the goats, the good from the evil, and to decide who will enter into the fullness of life in the kingdom. The early Christians were particularly worked up about and excited about what they believed to be the imminent return of Jesus as Lord and Saviour. And the recently converted people of Corinth were no exception. And Paul wrote to them, not so much to dampen their enthusiasm, because he firmly believed that in his own lifetime too he would meet the Jesus whom he never had the privilege of meeting during his earthly life. He told them, though, that in order to prepare themselves, it was best that they live good lives in the here and now, that they do everything they could to put into practice the teaching of Jesus, which he, of course, had taught them about and which he had shared with them by word and example. And we, 2,000 or more years later, knowing that the Lord didn't come back to fulfill the dreams and eager longings of the people of Corinth, we still, though, believe that one day he will return as judge, as Saviour, as Lord. And however eagerly we may anticipate that return, we know that we have to live in a time where the challenge to us is to be as prepared as possible for that glorious day. And in the major part of this season of Advent, our focus is on the second coming of Jesus, the return at the close of the age as Judge and Lord, and about how best we can prepare ourselves for that coming. The words of the prophet Isaiah indicate very clearly that need which the Jewish people of old, having returned from exile in Babylon, beleaguered, downhearted, and yet content that they were free from captivity when they arrived and found the ruins of Jerusalem. "O God, please come to our help. You are a loving God," they said. "We are your people. We need you. Come to us." And that word, "we need you," that cry, that plaintive plea to God, is one which probably finds an echo in the hearts of so many of you who are watching this morning. Because many of you have been isolated at home for a long number of months. Those of you who have ventured out do so with great caution. We are all living alert to the dangers which lurk still in our society everywhere we go, as the coronavirus is still rampant in our midst. All of you have been prudent. All of you have been careful. All of you, I know too, have been socially responsible. And during that wonderful short period when people were coming back to Mass, when we were able to welcome people into church, everybody maintained social distancing and were careful and cautious in the way in which they acted themselves and treated others. And it's with that very much to our minds that we now look forward to opening the doors of the church again and to welcome you back, as many of you as can come and be accommodated in the very near future. So that's something to which to look forward. But the church at this present moment, while encouraging us, of course, to keep our religious practice very much to the forefront of our minds and to rediscover our relationship with God, and in fact to respond to that felt need which so many of us have had with such great urgency over the past number of months. God, please come into our lives, come to our help, do not hide your face from us. And now, as that face is being revealed to us again, we, in this period, look forward to a fresh encounter with our God. At the end of the Advent season, of course, we will be commemorating again with great joy the first coming in our midst of God's only Son, in the person of Jesus of Nazareth, born in Bethlehem. And that is Christmas. We look forward to Christmas for so many reasons, even if this year there will be an apprehension among many of you. More modest expectations of what Christmas may be, but yet a challenge to deepen our sense of joy with what we actually have. Those three family bubbles which can come together, those friends which can meet, those children which can return to their homes, those grandparents who will be able to see their grandchildren. So, a deeper appreciation perhaps of family life and its joys, as well as an appreciation of its challenges. But the more immediate challenge to us in the here and now is that actually Jesus is knocking at our door as we speak. The risen Lord is among us. We are a living cell of his mystical body, the church. He comes to us through the Eucharist, and every time we listen to his word, we hear the gospel preached or proclaimed to us. We do believe that it is the living Lord who is speaking to us. So while we look forward to his glorious return at the end of time, when we resolve to prepare ourselves as best we can by living good lives, by being as alert as Jesus invited his disciples to be in that short extract from Mark's Gospel, which we've just heard. That's about him coming at dawn, at midnight, in the middle of the day, at an hour we least expect. Regardless of when he comes, we're alert, we're ready. We're living such lives that when he sees us and comes to invite us, he recognizes us as fellow disciples and as belonging to him in faith and practice. Christmas cards will be coming to us in the coming weeks as images of the birth of the Christ child with Mary and Joseph and the shepherds, or with the wise men from the east, which are so much part of the Christmas imagery. We're invited to get behind the story and understand what that really means to us. The great mystery of the incarnation of God becoming man, which is the mystery of faith we celebrate at Christmas, and then the manifestation or revelation of the Christ child to the world as both man and God to the wise men. These are the faith mysteries which are at the heart of our Christmas celebration, and those too we can eagerly anticipate in the here and now. But it is in the here and now that we welcome the Lord. And so let us do our very best in these coming days to make a space for the Lord in our hearts, to open those same hearts to others, especially those who are in need, to step into the future without fear, confident in the knowledge that I will be with you all days, even to the end of the world. And even though our circumstances are limited, our actions are severely controlled by the necessary measures our government has taken to combat the spread of the coronavirus, we are still alive. We still have the telephone. Many of you have Zoom. You are watching on your laptops or perhaps phones to these words which are being shared with you on the occasion of the first Sunday of Advent. We're all going on a journey together, with the spring in our step, with hope in our hearts, secure in the knowledge that the Lord, whose advent we await and pray for, is faithful to his word, fulfills his promises, and will be there, will recognize us as belonging to him, and will, of course, welcome us home.